May I have your attention, please?
I think this is a good idea.
Dreams without goals.
People are getting fed up with corporate America.
I want you to get up, stand up, fight back.
Ask what you can do for your country.
Fight back.
Don't call it a comeback.
Tampa, St. Pete, Lakeland, Sarasota, how are we doing today? Thank you for tuning in at another edition of The Corner Launch. My name is Jeremy Griffin. This is a show, as you just heard, that we've made for you, the community. It's a Q&A show. If you have ever had a question about organizing, activism, entrepreneurship, startup scene, whatever, you can either shoot us an email to dj@wmnf.org or please call right in, 813-239-9663. I'm joined today by my man, Tyler Bradford. Tyler, how are we?
Doing good.
We've also got Gina Marie in the house.
Hey.
And we also have a special guest, Mrs. Lynn Kay, who is the manager at the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center in Ybor City, 2101 Palm Ave. Lynn, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
This is a good show that we've got going on. We're really glad that you're here. Again, if anybody has a question that you'd like to ask us, ask Lynn. You're an organizer, you're an activist, you've got something that you're trying to get going, you're already running a small business, please call in 813-239-9663 or email us dj@wmnf.org. All right, so let's start off just with a quick kind of rundown from the team here. Gina's done a lot of work with the Art District in St. Pete.
Yes.
What's going on over there, Gina?
Okay, so pretty exciting news. We are in phase 2. Well, we're ending phase 1 for the walkability master plan for the Deuces Live Warehouse Arts District, which is extremely exciting. So we also have a lot of information on that. We'll be going into phase 2, which is the action phase of the infrastructure and so forth and what's needed. So I'll keep you posted along the way here.
That's
if anyone wants
fantastic.
any info too, you can contact Brian Caper from the city as well at 727-893-7035.
Are you guys still looking for artists to get involved?
Absolutely. We want the whole community involved. And what was incredible is we had a couple of design workshops and the community is so engaged and involved in this process. So it's pretty exciting. So absolutely, all walks of life, all input really make a difference in what we can help to build in that area.
See, I love Are you familiar with the Warehouse Arts District over there?
I'm very familiar, yes.
What do you think about what's going on down there?
It's about time. It kicks butt. It's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
I like it because it's literally like art meets entrepreneurship, and you've got artists, but you're making things happen, and you're kind of combining those two, the two things that I'm most passionate about into one kind of thing. So
I really want to thank everybody in the community because it's what makes it happen when you have people come out and kind of just interact, associate, engage with the artists, and come on the second Saturday and so forth. We're just really grateful and thankful for the entire community.
that's excellent. If anybody has anything that they'd like to add to that, if you're an artist out there and you've got an idea, you've got a question, please call in 813-239-9663. So, Lynn, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then kind of let's go right into what is the ECC and what it is you guys do.
Okay, well, I actually moved to Tampa from the Midwest, the St. Louis area, back in 1993.
Go Cardinals.
Yeah, go Cardinals. Yep. Oh, now we're best friends. And if anybody's listening and knows me, they know how much of a Cardinals fan I am. Yes. So I've been in the small business arena for about 17 years now with Hillsborough County's Economic Development Department for over 10 years. We launched the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center, a.k.a. the ECC, talking about acronyms, as we were before we went on show. And we launched in December of 2014. And to keep this short, I took your cue there. We are a one-stop shop for business owners to receive resources and assistance, most of them at no cost. But as we were talking about before the show, it's so difficult for an entrepreneur and an artist entrepreneur to know where to go, where to receive the services that they need to start and grow their business. So our role is to help them navigate the system. And we do work with the artists. We work very closely with the arts community. The Arts Council of Hillsborough County actually hosts workshops at our center, and we help them create their social media, their websites, and whatever it is they need. So we do recognize the importance of the arts in the community on both sides of the bay.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. How many people are over there on any given at any given moment over the course of a week? How many people do you guys think that you're helping out?
You just never know who's going to walk in our door and how many are going to be there each day. But it's funny you asked that question because I just pulled the numbers for May, even though we're not quite at the end of the month yet, and we served over 1,100 people.
Wow.
And we had 60 events that were hosted in the month of May, which is going to be another record-breaking month for us. Every month it increases. Since our
60 events.
60 events were hosted on site, and I'll talk about some of those events as we go forward. But,
okay.
Since we launched in December 2014, we've served over 20,000 attendees, and over 1,500 programs have been hosted there. So it's definitely demonstrating a demand in the community, and the entrepreneurs are hungry for information and resources
Yeah,
and
I guess
networking.
so. That's incredible. If we had 1,100 customers walking in through our door over the course of a month, I
think we'd be pretty solid.
Yeah, I think we'd be in pretty good shape.
You guys should come hang out.
Yeah,
You
no,
can find
definitely.
some.
We're definitely going to do something, get something set up. So out of all of the people that are coming in there, when you say that you guys provide resources for them, what are we talking about? You said that, social media and websites and stuff like that, but if people need funding, or they're like, I already have something going and I'm kind of set, but I can't get to the next level. What do you guys have in terms of that?
We have so many things. We have over 75 partners, and our partners consist of nonprofit organizations, government agencies, and educational institutions who are all serving the entrepreneurial community. Every one of them has a different area of expertise, whether it's funding, whether it's social media, whether it's geared towards the women-owned business, the minority business, Hispanics. We just launched back in November this past year, Operation Startup, which is a collaborative between Hillsborough Community College and Hillsborough County. And it's an opportunity for vetrepreneurs to work out of the center and utilize it as dedicated workspace. So that's something new to us because we're not really co-working or an incubator. We're a place, a business destination to receive assistance, but we allow the veteran entrepreneurs to actually utilize the facility to work out of and be on site, network with each other. And veterans like to work with like-minded individuals. The veterans work with veterans. So, for example, we have LinkedIn classes specific for them that's taught by another veteran. We have social media, like we already talked about, which is LinkedIn, obviously. Developing
kind of, sort of. I always put LinkedIn in that weird kind of gray area.
It is, definitely. Helping them write their business plan. And then one of the things, like you asked, is what does a business get out of it? What is their stage of business? If they have a great idea, one of the first things we suggest they do is to pitch their idea and find out if that great idea that they think is so great is really as great as as they think it is.
You mean sometimes people think that their own idea is the best thing ever, and it turns out it's really not?
Yeah, exactly. You guys know that story.
I'm glad I don't know what that's like.
Well, you know what? Failure's okay too, because that's what teaches you success.
You're totally right about that.
But we let them pitch their ideas, and on an average, on Wednesdays, we have 50 to 120 people on site who are all community leaders, entrepreneurs themselves, investors, partners who want to give advice and feedback to those who are pitching on that day, which is part of our 1 Million Cups program, a live version of Shark Tank that takes place every Wednesday at 9 a.m.
That's fantastic. We might have our own live version of Shark Tank going right here. Let's start grabbing our first call of the afternoon or the morning, I suppose. Let's go to Ken in Tampa. Ken, how are you doing? What can we do for you?
Hi, Ken.
Hi there. I just tuned in your show, and I heard the words Arts District and Livability and Walkability and Master Plan all in a couple of sentences. Sounds very exciting. I wanted to mention the possibility of changing public space that is normally barren and ugly and dangerous and not pleasant to be at, which is intersections. And cities like Carmel, Indiana, have a gateway for their arts district, and they've built a modern roundabout at their gateway so that they have artwork in the center of the intersection and also around the perimeter. And Sarasota has a number of roundabouts in their downtown. They're putting artwork in all of them. They plan to have at least 14, and they plan to have public art in the center of all those roundabouts or around the periphery. And so what Sarasota has showed on their Main Street at downtown is that roundabouts can not only be an aesthetic contribution where you have public art, but also can be used for placemaking. In particular, at the end of their Main Street, they have a very nice roundabout, and you could hardly tell that there are cars there. It's not a car-centric intersection. It's a people-centric intersection. The cars just silently glide by while people enjoy sidewalk dining. Can you imagine having a nice glass of wine next to a signalized intersection? I don't think so.
Ken, it's
But
so
you can see
interesting
that
you're
going
bringing
on
this
in,
information up
Sarasota.
because one of the things, and I would love your involvement in it as well, we have a gateway right there at the Deuces Live Warehouse Arts District intersection, which, as you know, is a very important piece. And we have gateways, we call them, that are monuments that are throughout the area that signify the area that we are updating and changing and putting a creative flair out. And actually, this will be the first announcement, but we are going to be asking a shout out to artists to, put their input and come into the game and see what can happen with those ideas going out there. So I agree with you on many levels of what you said. And in phase 2, we're opening up to the community to talk about those incredible, things that you had put in, and, using other areas as examples, and talking to the business owners, talking to the artists, talking to the community of what they want to see and how they can, recognize this area more, walk around it safely, use the land well. I mean, you should see some of the planning. It's absolutely amazing. So I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I would love your involvement.
Yeah, that's great. Very exciting. Keep up the good work, and I'll get a hold of Ms. Perry and see how I can connect with you. Thank
Wonderful.
you for the
And
moment.
I will give you Brian Caper's number again. You can call, and definitely he is.
What's that number, Gina?
It is. Let me grab that one more time. And this is a great number to reach. And he also has a package of the updating of what's gone on, which is pretty exciting because it is an extensive, like you had mentioned. It is a lot of words in a short period of time, right? So 727-893-7035. That's Brian Caper with the City for Economic Development.
Awesome, Ken. We really appreciate the phone call, my man. Definitely. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Okay, and in 12 minutes, you're going to have Mark Sharp on. So I hope listeners hang around for that.
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good. If anybody else has any questions or would like to email us or whatever, it is dj@wmnf.org. That phone number again is 813-239-9663. 813-239-9663. If you're an organizer, an activist, an entrepreneur, you're running a startup, you got a small business, and you've got questions, we've got Lynn Kay here from the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center. Lynn, before we get to this next caller, Cassie, we're going to get right to you. What stops people from taking the first step that you've seen? Because like this guy just called, that's always the first step. But what stops people from making that initial jump?
Usually 2 things: fear and funding. Where do I get my money from? And I'm too scared to take the chance. And one of the things, you want me to go ahead and answer that?
Yeah.
One of the things that we suggest is to bootstrap your business. And to define that is not take necessarily your life savings, your 401k or a mortgage on your house, but to continue possibly working at your existing job and try it out first on the side in the evening, on the weekends, and see if it's really a good idea.
Not enough people do that.
No, a lot of people think, oh my gosh, my business is going to be such a great success instantly.
Yes, I'm going to
The
quit
customers are
everything.
and then they just
income.
go for it. And sometimes it does work for some individuals if they do really have a great idea, but make sure, take your time, explore it, do your market research, and make sure that you have that next great idea.
I did that for years. For years, I was working with my uncle and kind of building up my own thing. And the reason is just exactly like you said, because if I just made the plunge 110%, just because you want to start a business doesn't mean your bills stop coming, right? Everybody else
Gotta
still
pay your
wants to
bills.
get paid, right? So I think that's fear and funding. The fear, I think, is something that really grabs people.
Right.
Especially when you start putting yourself out there.
And especially in women, it's so sad for me to say this, but it's very difficult for a woman to take that plunge because they've got the family, they've got everything else going on the side, and it's scary for them. Part of 1 Million Cups, one of the challenges that we have are we have almost all male presenters, and we have to literally beg women to get up and present.
You're
because
on the
they're
right
scared.
show. Problem solved. Me and Gina will pack that place.
I'm counting on Gina to show up.
Oh my
She's got
God.
my information in my bag that I've given her. So
That is very, very exciting. 'cause
No,
it's
I've got a handful in my mind right now that we can get over there for sure,
Okay,
definitely.
awesome.
No, and I'm all about that. We're putting on an event at the end of October that is basically a obstacle course with a whole bunch of other stuff involved, and I always say I would love for a woman to win the whole thing. I mean, because that's
We're going
just,
in it. We'll do it.
Okay, let's do it.
That's
Okay.
High five.
Yeah, all right.
All
High five.
I don't know about being an obstacle course, but I'll certainly
We'll
try.
make it work. We can delegate too, can't we? That's what we do.
No,
All right,
there's
you're
no
jumping over
delegation in this. All right, cool. So let's go to, is it Cassie or Casey in Ruskin?
Happy.
Cassie, how are we doing? What can I do for you?
Well, first and foremost, I love WMNF and everything it provides, and to add this show to the mix is just amazing.
Hooah, thank you.
I about 2 years ago now, I was always in the wholesale produce business on the sales end, and just in my neighborhood, I started a small little co-op with 16 people.
That's
now
awesome.
We have 12,000 members, and we're in 8 different neighborhoods. And we continue to grow quicker than I can even capacitate. I stayed at my job until, I finally took the leap and said, okay, I can't do both anymore. But we're struggling now, really with trying to figure out if we need to stay as a business or go to a nonprofit, because we do so much for our community. Like, we are run by volunteers. All their food is free. We sponsor 10 to 15 families per neighborhood, all the fire stations, and then there's still the business end of it.
No, myself, Cassie, and this is my view on that. I personally think that as long as you're doing good, people don't care how it is that you registered. The market doesn't care is how you registered your company, whether you're a for-profit LLC or whatever, and you're doing all this good stuff in the community, or you're a nonprofit. I don't think that the market is terribly concerned with that. I think that they just care that you're actually doing something, because we all know that there's more than enough nonprofits out there. I mean, everybody's seen them, especially the big ones, where they're just grabbing massive amounts of cash, and lo and behold, like everybody, they've got a 5-man board, and they're all each on a $200,000 a year salary, and it's all into the overhead. Don't worry about it. We only profited 3%. So that's my take on that. Lynn can probably get into some of the finer details on that, and I don't know what she has to say on it, but let's toss it over there. What's up?
Well, disclaimer first, I'm not going to get into too much detail because I do have a partner that I'm going to refer her to talk to. But Cassie, you're the founder of the organization? You're the one who
started on my living room floor with just 16 people.
Wow. Well, congratulations to you.
And divide them up, and it just grew and grew and grew, and it's very much community involved. Like, we all collectively make the decisions of, what our next step is. Okay, do we have enough people to move into this next neighborhood, or what do you guys? We try to make everything. We try to do everything with as much involvement with the people that are involved.
Well, it sounds like
you're a member of the co-op, then we want your input. And
it sounds like you've taken some great steps.
Yeah.
So far, doing nonprofit you'd be a prime candidate for something like that. However, you would lose some of the control that you have now, because you would have a board of directors to answer to.
Like we share the control in a lot of it. It's just really for things. Now we need a larger truck or even a second truck, and we have money that we've saved up, but not enough for that. So then it becomes, do we ask to start writing grants, or do we?
Well, that's what the benefit of being a nonprofit would be. You would become tax exempt. You would become available to write the grants and hopefully win some of those grants. But you do lose control of what you're doing right now more than you won't have the flexibility that you do now, which is something you'll have to weigh out the pros and cons. But if you're needing to grow,
wait to come see you guys.
well, we do have some.
It's another corner launch miracle.
Yes, it is.
I have a feeling we'll see several in the next 45 minutes or so. But I do contact our office. Our number is 813-204-9267. We do have a partner nonprofit leadership group, And we also work very closely with Hillsborough County Public Library Cooperative. And believe it or not, the library, they are really awesome for business development. And they have some information they can share with you as far as setting up a nonprofit as well through their grant foundation.
Yeah.
And I definitely recommend that you seek some of the services and weigh out the pros and cons of being a for-profit or a nonprofit and what those benefits or negatives are going to be to you.
Cassie, we really appreciate you calling in.
What you're doing, and thank you, WNS, because this is brilliant. So.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Appreciate you calling in. Again, this is the Corner Launch, guys. This is a show that we made for the Tampa community, which is all things entrepreneurship, activist, organizing, nonprofit, startup, small business, just about how to make it happen. Making it happen, that's what it takes. As you guys just heard, they started a food co-op, and it's grown substantially. And these are all opportunities and options that we have at the base community level that us as a community can put into effect at any given moment when we decide we actually would like to do something. Most of our problems are easily solved as long as we start organizing, right? Now, getting people to organize is always the tough part.
Action too, right? Sometimes just doing that, and the fear and funding, that was an incredible, simple, what stops you from starting?
The fear, yeah. You hold an event and nobody shows up. I've done that. It's humiliating.
Mm-hmm.
Then you hold other ones and it's just it's a wild blowout and you're like, okay, so I'm over that fear now.
Keep going.
So if anybody else has any questions, you'd like to call in, that phone number is 813-239-9663, 813-239-9663, or you can email us, dj@wmnf.com. So, Lynn, let me ask you then. So she went and started a food co-op. When people go ahead and they start getting these things going, they make the plunge, they've gotten over the fears, say, right? They're going for it. Where do you see, it's easy to say, yeah, it worked because I worked a lot at it, right? But what do you see as far as mistakes go? People that come in, they're like, no, I'm already going, but, what are the common mistakes when people get going that you see a lot and within reason?
Taxes, IRS, not having a business plan, failing to plan, creates failure, and you have to take all those steps. And that's one of the great things about the ECC. A lot of people don't know where to go and what those actual steps are. So our on-site consultants, our on-site partners will walk you through those steps to hopefully stop you from financial destruction and taking those steps that you shouldn't take and helping you go the right direction to grow your business, whether it's making sure that you're licensed and permitted correctly, because all it takes is a knock on your door from the Department of Agriculture or permitting, and they can shut you down. Or the Homeowners Association. If you're operating a business out of your home, most homeowners associations don't allow that. And as soon as your nosy neighbor finds out you're doing it, they can't wait to tell on you. So
what a weird, something simple like you just mentioned, a business plan. Mm-hmm. That seems to be a major, issue with getting started. So you have the idea, you have everything, but a business plan, is there some kind of outline there that someone can get help starting that and creating that?
Absolutely. We have several partners who offer a business plan series. We Fantastic. Have actually one through our SBDC, with Small Business Development Center at Hillsborough County, which is under the regional SBDC at USF. They offer bi-monthly business plan series workshop, and it walks them through every phase of that business plan. And at the end of the business plan series, they pitch that business plan idea, or if they're already in business, because a lot of people just have it in their head. What happens to them if they end up in the hospital or something medical happens, and it's all in their head and nothing's on paper? How are your family members or your fellow staff or coworkers going to be able to take over that business?
Or seeing the obstacles too before they happen.
And finding out who your target market is and what are you going to do when it's time to grow in the trends. So it's very, very important to get it out of your head and on paper. But our partners do offer that workshop completely free. And
wow, wonderful.
Yeah, so it's definitely, there's no reason not to take advantage of that.
Most important part of a business plan.
Executive summary. And now the financials and the marketing there's 4 parts to the business plan, but the financial and marketing are second, but they are what creates that executive summary. Most of the time when you were writing a business plan, the only thing that an investor, a banker, or a management company from a leasing agency or wherever you're going with that business plan, they're only going to look at that executive summary. So it's critical that piece right there has an overview of everything else within your business plan. If there's questions about the executive summary, then they'll refer to those other pieces of and parts and identify what it is that you were missing out of that executive summary. But if you don't have a strong executive summary, they may just put it in the back desk and never ever see it again.
Fantastic advice. That's great.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I just need people to write them for me. The process of sitting down and going through that is brutal.
We give you homework, so if you want to have it done, you need to see an attorney or someone that does it professionally, and you can pay them to do that. But everything we do is at no cost and just give you those tools in the toolbox to get it done.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We're going to have Tyler, we got an email in here from
we got Bob from Zephyr Hills. Says a woodworker / artist looking for something like you guys are offering. Could that work in his area?
a woodworker / artist looking for something that we offer.
Oh, you're talking about the Warehouse Arts District, Deuces Live?
Most likely one of the two of them, yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean, it is very strong and vibrant over there. We have, and the city also works with the artists as well. So a lot of the pieces, you have Function House, who his pieces are in Dali. So they definitely collaborate. Totally, absolutely welcoming to that kind of diversity, especially since the warehouse area is industrial. The larger spaces, the making of the materials, the larger equipment. And you can also collaborate with some of these artists. And we have other businesses opening up to provide those machinery to artists too, so you don't have that fear of getting started. How much do I need? What do I need? Get in there. It's the whole thing. What we're talking about is the fear, and I think breaking the fear, at least for me and my experience, has been action. So definitely come out there. You can contact me and I'll give you a bunch of information that can guide you. My number is 727-902-1252.
I think that co-working spots where they provide the equipment
yes, we have
is
one just
something
opening.
that is really, really neat, as opposed to just a desk.
Right.
Like if you're in a specific industry and we have the equipment and you can come, lease
Hacker
it monthly.
space.
And
It's so important. And this is something fairly new to the Tampa Bay area. Regionally, incubators and co-working space didn't exist 5 years ago in our area. And now we have great funding resources and government officials who see the benefit of having locations like the Tampa Bay Wave, having the USF Connect, Softworks. Have you heard of Softworks?
We haven't. What's that?
Oh, y'all need to check that out. They love to give tours. It's a fab lab, a fabrication lab where you can go and create your prototypes of whatever it is that you're thinking of inventing, but it's specific to the military. They have really cool stuff in there. They have cooling suits and cell phones that can see through the walls and drones that fly 150 miles per hour. But it's a location.
Well, that's a little terrifying.
It is.
But it's really cool. But it's all entrepreneurs building these things and utilizing that equipment, like we're talking about, the shared resources.
Can they see behind clothing? Because
That's what I was just thinking. X-ray cameras.
I
I have to worry about
can.
what I'm wearing under my garments now. This is terrible, or not wearing.
That's really interesting. We're going to go to, on that note, we're going to go to Angelica in Seminole Heights. Angelica, what's going on?
Yes, hello.
Hi, how are you? What's your question for the day?
Well, no, more of a comment than question. I am a former restaurateur. I was the first art cafe in the Tampa Bay area. I started out in Ybor and then moved to Seminole Heights. My biggest obstacle was the city of Tampa. I did everything. I was a member. I signed up with the Small Business Administration, and they were a big help as far as getting me where I needed to be. But I had a lot of issues with the city of Tampa. When I was in Ybor, it was Dick Greco. Later, I was hoping that Pam Iorio would be more supportive. But before I even opened the business, which was in Seminole Heights, I had to pay traffic impact fees and water retaining. $14,000 before I could even open.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm very glad that this group is doing what they're doing. I guess my question is something like that happening in Tampa?
Is something happening like what? Give me a quick kind of rundown on that. What is something like what?
Your organization. Is there an organization such as yours? Does your organization help people in all the Tampa Bay area?
Yeah, correct. Definitely.
Yes.
there's always something for everybody at the ECC there or any of these other organizations. The thing you got to remember when you're dealing with these things, especially with regulations and stuff, is everybody's got a job to juggle, and you've got one problem and people demand an answer, and a lot of times you end up, not really helping the people that you were intending to. It's very tricky, but I will tell you that everybody that runs a business is going through the same regulatory framework. So sometimes, to a certain extent, you just got to juggle it better than everybody else does. There's really no...
And I did, but unfortunately, it didn't. I think being a pioneer was my biggest issue.
Pioneering is tough, Angelica. We appreciate the phone call, though.
Thank you.
Definitely. So Lynn, when you've got somebody that is trying to get something going, and they're dealing with issues like that, how do you navigate them through that, or what? I mean, what's some advice on dealing with that?
Well, hopefully we try to help them identify those issues before they move into a certain location to make sure, that they're aware of the impact fees that are possible to their business, that the water system is set up to accommodate their business. And the restaurant industry, which is what she mentioned she operated, is probably one of the most difficult because they have so many different guidelines to follow. They have to have all the sinks and the wastewater and the venting, and everything has to be exactly perfect, because not only are you dealing with municipalities locally, whether it be Hillsborough County or City of Tampa, but you've got the state agencies as well.
Federal,
and the restaurants. I mean, congratulations to her for keeping it as long as she did and changing locations, but unfortunately, the restaurant industry is just one of those you don't know unless you do all of your homework first. And that means talking with those city officials, talking with all the government officials, and identifying what those future challenges might be, because it is, restaurants have a high failure rate.
Restaurants are tough.
And
it is a tough. You couldn't pay me enough money.
Right.
And to go in and try to manage a restaurant.
Are you sure about that?
I'm absolutely
you can't be paid enough money.
No, because you know what? Because I would fail. No, I wouldn't be able to pull it off. No, I wouldn't. I don't think I could do it. It's really that tough.
It's a tough industry. So there were some things addressing some of her questions. Back in the early 90s and up until recently, 2015, there were some impact waiver fees that were authorized by the state of Florida and managed locally by the City of Tampa and Hillsborough County. And that did allow you to waive those fees on the impact. But those don't exist anymore. So just make sure you do all your homework, because like she said, $14,000, that was actually pretty low for some of those impact waiver fees.
Yeah, that's a good point there. Let's go with Herbert in Safety Harbor. Do we still have Herbert on the phone?
Hello.
Hey, my man, how are you? What's your question for the day?
I was driving and I couldn't get some phone numbers you were telling me about. I just want to know, I'm going to be starting a business, and I heard you have some workshops, a workshop or something for starting a business or something like that.
What industry are you going into?
Kind of hard to explain.
You got to be, listen, this is your pitch. You got to be able to explain it, my man. What are you going into?
30 seconds.
Go.
I'm going to be advertising in High Times, so I'm going to be advertising something in there. So
some kind of a product in there or a service?
Yeah, it's a product. It's a drying product.
Herbert, listen, man, there's no haters here, man. If you can say you're doing whatever it is you want to do.
Yep.
Right. But what I want to do is know that the workshops or something like that to start a business, because I got everything. I got all my products. I got everything, and I'm ready to put in my advertising to High Times, and I'm ready to go, and I'm a little worried because I don't know what to do. I never started a business.
Okay, what I'm going to do is tell you to stop right now and contact our office, 813-204-9267, or visit our website. You need me to repeat that?
I'm sorry, I'm at 813.
204 9267.
Okay.
You can attend a workshop first. I suggest you attend our Smart Start workshop, which is hosted by our Small Business Development Center at Hillsborough County. It is a free workshop, 2 hours. And then I suggest you meet with one of the on-site consultants before you pay anybody to do your advertising or do anything with your business. Make sure you do some market research first, which they can do all that for you at no cost.
Okay, I'm not worried about the market market on it because there's nobody that has anything that I got to offer. I mean,
sometimes there's a reason for that, though, my man.
Yeah,
do
that's
some
true.
research, okay? Sometimes you think, oh, nobody's doing this, and it's actually about 50,000 people have tried to do it, and they all failed, right? Or there's just not enough of a market in order for you to actually make enough money.
And I'll be honest, we hear that all the time, and we've met with several other clients with the exact same idea that think that nobody else has their idea.
Yeah.
So just be cautious. And maybe you do have the next great thing, but once you put it out there, everybody else is also going to copy you and have the next great thing as well.
Thank you, Herbert. We really appreciate the phone call.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks, guys. All right, just for everybody knows that's listening, this is a Corner Launch. This is a show about entrepreneurship, small business, organizing, nonprofits, you name it. If you're trying to make something happen, give us a call. Our number is 813-239-9663. 813-239-9663. So Gina, Tyler, what do you guys know about High Times Magazine and advertising in there? And one of the two of you got to know something about that.
Yeah, it's products that aren't really all the way legal here yet.
They're on the cusp. They're on the cusp. All right, cool. Let's go to, it seems how we're on.
I'm not cool enough to even know what they're talking about. I'm just going to add that.
You're not alone.
Yes, good products nonetheless.
Oh, I just realized what it probably
Oh, boy. See, guys, that's why you can trust Lynn. She is on the straight and narrow, and she actually, they're running a very professional organization over there. Me and Tyler, on the other hand. Tyler, let's go to that emailer that just sent something
in. For Lynn. Adam Kaplan's got a question. He says he's a welder and would love to start his own business. The overhead is really hurting him, though. Example, multi-purpose welder costs about $5,000. His question is, does the ECC help with materials/equipment? Second question is, do they already have a welding workshop that's a shared workplace? And last but not least, does ECC help with union organization?
Great questions.
Okay, that's a lot of questions. I may have to ask you to repeat them one at a time. But we do have resources that can help you, but we're not going to be able to purchase your equipment. Or assist you in purchasing your equipment. There's not going to be a grant that's available out there for something like that. If that answers his question, it did sound like he was asking, are we going to help him identify a way to pay for his equipment?
Workshops that are in that kind of general area there, small manufacturing maybe.
We do have, through our economic development department, a manufacturing academy that is available. It depends on the age group that you fall within, because this is a free resource that is available to you, but it's not going to provide you the equipment. But it's in partnership with CareerSource. I can refer you to, if you contact my office, we can refer you to Ken Jones, who is in charge of the Manufacturing Academy, and might be able to provide you some more information on it. That's not really my arena or the ECC arena. We can talk to you about business permitting, licensing, once you get to that point, and identifying your customer. But you're kind of a different arena for us, but I can definitely put you in touch with the right resources.
That's awesome. I'm really glad we have a group like you guys around. For everybody else that's listening, that phone number, call in with your questions, 813-239-9663, 813-239-9663. Lynn, tell us, we had that gentleman on the phone there earlier who couldn't really get his pitch out. Tell us about 1 million cups.
Oh.
Expand on that a little bit, okay?
How long do I have?
You've got, we got about 10 more minutes left, but just expand kind of on that. What is it? How does it go? And then, where do you see the stumbling blocks in that? Okay,
so 1 Million Cups is actually a national organization that's funded by the Kauffman Foundation out of Kansas City, Missouri. And we launched our 1 Million Cups in February of 2015. We were the 69th location, 69th chapter in the United States. We are now recognized as the largest 1 Million Cups in the Southeast region. And that is defined as we have at least 50 people in the audience on a regular Wednesday. But the name, first off, 1 Million Cups, comes from the Kauffman Foundation. Their goal is to have 1 million people simultaneously drinking 1 million cups of coffee at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday morning watching business pitches. So every week, kicking off at 9 o'clock, we ring a loud bell, 6-minute pitch for the first presenter. They pitch their idea, and then they have the opportunity to ask the community for what it is that they need. Maybe yesterday's pitchers needed a website developed. Another one needed some financial support. And then we turn it over to the audience for 20 minutes, and they provide feedback, constructive criticism, questions, comments. Sometimes they'll flat out say your idea sucks and steer them in a different direction. And then we do the same format again at 9:30.
It's better to hear that before you invest tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
And we've had several come through that come in with one idea, and then they come back 6 months later with a different idea that's now working for them.
Wow. See, that's awesome.
And we've had a lot of success stories too. Now there's close to 90 chapters in the United States, and last year they had a 1 in a million competition, and we were the only one in the entire state of Florida that had one of our presenters that made it to Kansas City, made the top 5 with their presentation, which was Circle Bottle, and watch for them coming on the market soon. They're going to be huge. It's
Interesting.
A water filtration system built into a bottle that they've created. They have a prototype out. You can set a cartridge to the level of flavoring that you want on that particular bottle, and there's a storage cartridge underneath in the bottle. So they actually made it to the top 5. They didn't win, but we were so proud.
You helped them along the way?
We did. We guided them. We actually, before we put them out there to pitch, we do educate them and coach them. There's a committee of 8 of us that work with them on a regular basis before we throw them out to the sharks.
That's really cool. So they have flavors in the water too?
Yeah, isn't that cool? Check them out.
Goodness.
I see a business opportunity here. 1 million cups of coffee every Wednesday. I'd like to provide the coffee or the cups. Just throwing that out there.
Cool. Okay, we do actually have great sponsors, but we're always looking for new sponsors.
I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I see opportunity.
And I would like to do a shout out. There's also 1 million cups over in St. Pete, so they also kick off at 9 o'clock every morning.
Who runs that one?
I'm so sorry. It's the Greenhouse.
Okay.
The Greenhouse runs that one. And
the Greenhouse.
Yes. And I for some reason the names are...
No, that's fine. Just as long as people have a general idea of where to go to.
It's a great location right next to City Hall in downtown St. Petersburg.
Beautiful little building.
That's really cool. I like the 1 million cups thing because, again, until you get up and start talking about what it is you want to do, like you take some real harsh judgment when you do that. But it's so much better to do it initially in front of a small group of strangers than to get down that road. You bankrupt yourself or like you know what I mean? Like when things don't work out in that area, it can be really tough on people. So what other services do you guys have besides some of the stuff that we've covered? We talked about financing, we talked about business plans, we talked about social and websites. Is there anything that you guys have that maybe isn't something you do a whole lot of for people, but it is there?
Well, business disaster preparation. I brought you these nice red bags. I know you can't see them on air. However, I brought business emergency recovery toolkits. And our SBDC team, which is part of our entrepreneur services team with Hillsborough County, educates the community before a disaster hits. And sadly, a lot of businesses don't take advantage of this program because they don't think it's going to happen to them. And now as we approach hurricane season, it's time to get prepared and be ready. If a hurricane does hit, how are you going to get your business up and running quickly? And it's not just hurricanes. I mean, we've had a fire in Ybor City that knocked out several businesses for several days, and how to be prepared to get your business up and running again quickly. In addition to that, all the programs and such that we host at the center, our partnership with the Entrepreneur Services team and SBDC allows our team to go out in the community to the business owner's place of business. So not all business owners can leave and come to the ECC. So our team will go to them and coach them and help them and consult them as they need.
That's cool. How does somebody get, real quick, because we got another caller, how does somebody get that set up?
All you need to do is call 813-204-9267 or visit our website, hillsboroughcounty.org/ECC.
That's incredible. We may be doing something like that because the ability to travel and go, we're all strapped for time.
Right.
I mean, that is the number one asset for anybody that's in this area is time.
And you can't leave your place of business if you're a 1 or 2 person shop. So we will send our team to you.
That's wonderful.
I really like that a lot. All right, we've got another caller there. Sorry about the delay. Brian in St. Pete. Brian, how are we doing? What's your question? Joshua and Anna Maria.
Yeah, this is Josh. I'm a veteran who is service connected, and I wanted to know if you had any ECC services down here in Manatee County.
We actually don't have an and can you hear me? Because it sounds okay.
Yes.
There's not an ECC. This is part of Hillsborough County government. I would check with your local county government. I do know there is a small business development center in your area, and they certainly can provide the services to
Micro Enterprise Development.
I'm sorry?
The MCAA, the Manatee Community Action Agency, offers a micro enterprise development course.
You might want to check with them, but I definitely know there is an SBDC in that area as well, and you can reach out to them and receive consulting and attend their workshops.
Okay. Can I call off the air and get specific details from that?
Awesome. Yeah, definitely, Brian. Just give a call back when the show's over. We'll get that information to you. Thanks a lot, Brian. Appreciate it. Joshua, sorry. I have Brian written in front of me. Thanks, Josh.
Okay.
Thank you, Josh.
Bye, Josh.
I'll call off the air and get the information for that. I appreciate it.
Cool,
You're
man.
welcome.
You got it. Thanks, buddy. All right, so we've got about one more minute. I want to thank Lynn for joining us today. That is really good information. Lynn, give the shout out for the...
I think we have a little bit more time. Do we have some more time going? Because 8 minutes. You know, I
8
have
minutes.
a topic that's near and dear to my heart.
Gina
And
puts
you
up
had-
one finger to
Yes.
me, and it means
Wait,
8 minutes. I didn't get
You have
that
to-
before the show.
I'm always causing trouble. There you go. But Liz, you had said something that really struck with me. You said the fear and the funding, which is so true, and I have faced that many times. And women relating to that, the business world. Is there anything you can add to that? Because that was a great thing you brought up.
Well, there are some groups now that are forming in the area, and this is all you women out there, you really need to listen to this. If you have not been in touch with Working Women of Tampa Bay, they have a foundation. It's a networking group for women, and I believe they have now over 200 members, maybe close to 300 members. But it's an opportunity to get around other women, just like the veterans. They like to be around like-minded individuals. It's the same for us women. We like to talk, girl power. Get involved with that group, but they have something really new, and it's seed funding. And it's a very small dollar amount, but it might just be enough for some of the women who are thinking of trying something new and different and just need that little push. It's the seed funding is $500 to $1,000, and it'd be ideal for somebody who is interested in starting a food business, whether it be cupcakes, cookies, or some kind of baked good type thing out of their
co-op.
home. Right.
Food co-ops are killer.
So that I would definitely recommend that you get in touch with that organization. And I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked.
Yeah, we threw her a note.
Sticky notes
we
at
talked
me.
about the acronyms, right? So a lot of acronyms going around, and just curious to know what those stand for.
Okay, yes. There are so many acronyms, and it's so confusing, and that's one of the reasons we exist, is to help people navigate that system. SBDC is the Small Business Development Center, and they are one of our anchor tenants located at the ECC, Entrepreneur Collaborative Center. And another common one, SBA, Small Business Administration.
Thank you.
There's so many of them out there.
Thank
I
you.
know them like the back of my hand, and I assume everybody else does, but
thank you.
That's really good stuff. So, Gina, though, I think that the main thing we can take from this show, though, today is getting over that fear.
Right.
Yes.
It's easy to find funding if you just want to look for it hard enough and that makes sense. There's always somebody out there that's looking for something interesting to do. Getting over that fear, though. Tyler, how many times have you failed?
A lot.
Gina, how many times have you failed?
Oh, not many. But anyway, as I said,
Lies.
that's how actually a lot of my failures became my successes, because
That's exactly
I saw the issues in them, including my artwork and my business, both.
Right.
So I think that's where I think it's
You
so
learn.
important to break that
And I think with Lynn, what you were saying, where people come to the ECC with an idea and then they leave because apparently it didn't get received well, or it didn't work, or the financials didn't line up and the margin, whatever. But then they're back in 6 months and they're like, okay, so we went back to the drawing table. Now check this out. That's got to be, I mean, if I was you, I mean, that's got to be.
I have goosebumps right now. Thinking
Right,
about,
I mean-
it happens all the time.
So, like the saying is, fall forward, right?
Exactly.
Fail forward. And I mean, myself, the amount of time I fail all the time, constantly.
We all do.
Constantly.
It's how you get back up and start over again, or fix what it is that needs to be fixed. But failure, again, that's what you learn from. That's what creates your future successes.
It's really powerful when you learn to just accept that yeah, it's cool. It was a failure. Whatever. We're moving forward. I mean,
I almost feel for people that haven't failed yet, because then you don't know how to take a loss. So
Yeah,
it's like
man.
down the road, if you fail, you're not going to know what to do.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
experience little fails along the
I
way.
mean, I failed so much, I'm basically bulletproof at this point.
I wish I had that. So can I do a shout out real quick?
Yeah, of
'Cause
course.
I know Mark Sharp is coming up next. He's probably hearing me over the sound system out there. He was one of our former county commissioners, and he is one of the commissioners behind the scenes that created the ECC back in 2014. We have an awesome county commission. They recognize the importance of economic development in Hillsborough County. So shout out to Mark and Eric too.
If the
You guys
fact
out
that we
there.
did not know that was happening is not a testament to how
That's so cool.
incredibly
Our building
busy
is actually
and
dedicated
focused
to
we all
Mark
are.
Sharp.
Right, exactly.
And as he likes to say, he's not even dead yet. And he has a building dedicated to him. So
How much time do we got left here?
We have 4 minutes.
4 minutes? Excellent. So tell us a little bit then about the guy that's coming up and
Oh, boy.
you know his role in all of this stuff.
I'm
Let's give
getting
him
a
a little
look from him.
let's give him a little bit of a teaser campaign.
He is our technology guru, our small business guru, and I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to steal his thunder and nobody can steal his thunder because what he does in the community is absolutely amazing. He was served on county commission, and I'm sorry, Mark, I don't know how many years. You want to show me fingers? At least 10, right? 12. And he's now the director of the Tampa Innovation Alliance, which is also one of our partners, and they're doing some great things in the university area. And
The innovation, the USF area?
yes, the University USF area. So he'll give you all that information and do a great job on that. But they do great things for us at the ECC as well. We work together with different clients. We connect technology companies. They come to the ECC. We make sure they're familiar with the Tampa Innovation Alliance and how they might be able to impact that area. So
That's
just
really
another
cool.
one of our 75 plus partners.
Yeah,
So
that's really good. That's really good. All right, guys, so we've got to be bouncing on out of here. Again, this was a corner launch. I really appreciate everybody joining us today. We had my man Tyler in here.
Yo.
We had Gina.
Hey.
We had Lynn Kay from the ECC.
I like my new name.
Yeah, Lynn Kay. I like Lynn Kay. And again, guys, and we did have one last email that said, I love this show so much. When is it going to be on more regularly? We need you guys to call in and request that and email it, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
We
Thank you.
really want to
Thank
make
you.
this a
It's been
regular
amazing.
thing. Thank you
Yes.
very much, guys. If we can do it, so can you. Talk to y'all later.
Woohoo! Make it happen.
Yay! And now we have to go on obstacle course.
Yes, obstacle course.
Corporate America.
I want you to get up, stand up, fight back.
Ask what you can do for your country.
Don't call it a comeback.